So, good morning. It's Lynette from Panacea Ranch, and I just made a video, but I'm making another one. And this one, I want to talk a little bit about the philosophy that we are all one. Do you believe we are all one? Do you really believe we are all one? Because I thought a long time ago that I believed that we are all one. But then I also found myself noticing that I was judging people for the bad that they were doing, and I wasn't accepting that as part of myself. Okay? So if we are all one, if we are all one with God, with the one mind, if we're all part of this accumulative soup of energy, then those people that we judge as bad or evil is actually us looking through the perception that we are separate. And that's when conflict begins. That's where conflict began. Is when humans, and you know what humans are, they're a bag of water that seems separate from each other, when really a drop in the ocean is the ocean. And the people that I have judged as bad or evil are actually mirroring what I don't like about myself, what I fear about myself. Now, I'm not saying that I would do those things that they do that make me judge them as evil or bad. But there is part of me that is that energy. And I don't want to look at it. I don't want to accept it. And I sure as hell don't want to love it. And we often push that away and put up a wall to where we're not going to see it. And that wall is the veil. And maybe your ego is like totally erupting inside of you, just angry at me for even saying this. And that's okay. Been there, done that. And I'm not saying that evil is necessarily okay. But if you believe in God, and if you believe that we are one, and if you believe that we are all God's children, and I know that there are some parents out there who have disowned their children, but that's just their ego. That's just the devil in them that do that. Most parents love their children unconditionally, and they can't choose to send one of them to hell. Would you send any of your children to hell for the heinous things that they've done? And a lot of people have children that have not done things that are bad. But would you? Or even if they haven't done anything that bad, and you had to choose one of them to go to heaven and one of them to go to hell, which one would you choose to go where? I mean, if you had to, even if they didn't deserve it. Could you? I couldn't. I love all my children equally, unconditionally, and there is nothing, absolutely nothing they could do that would change my love for them. It might trigger sadness or anger or disappointment or even blame on myself for having raised them or co-raised them. But I wonder, can you accept everyone as yourself? One of the things that I've done while contemplating this and wanting to understand it is that when I look at someone that displeases me, that triggers me, that makes me want to hate them, that makes me believe that they are evil to the core. I'd like to give some examples, but I don't want to cause any conflict in comments or anything between people. Anyway, the people that I do judge as evil and that what they do is bad and everything, I go inside and I think about them as a child. I even picture what they would look like as a child. Maybe I even will look them up online to see them. When maybe there's a picture of them online as a child, and I look into their eyes. I'll zoom in and look into their eyes, and then I'll zoom out and I'll look at that child, and I'll say to myself, what happened to them when they were a child that would make them behave in such a manner, that would make them believe what they believe, that would make them aspire to do what they're doing, and how they could possibly do that to another person. And I can imagine all kinds of uneasy, devastating situations and experiences that would make them be hardcore evil, and then I kind of, I go and I look at things from a different angle, and I think about how there are different universes where when you make a decision to do this, it goes this way. When you make a decision to do this, it goes this way. And there's a universe for every possibility of each decision that we make, which means every decision that they make as well. It's just infinite. And I'm not saying those are different dimensions. Those are just different realities, different universes. Dimensions is a whole nother thing. And, because in the Akashic records, however you want to pronounce it, is the knowledge of everything that has ever been and ever will be, all in one. There's no past, future. It's just all one. And where was I going with this? And so it makes it easier for me to accept them for who they are, which is a part of me. There's good and bad in everyone. So there's a bad part of me and a good part of me. And I'm not saying you need to condone what they're doing. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying people shouldn't be held accountable for what they do. I'm saying that we need to look at it from different angles, different perceptions, and that when we accept the whole as one, or the one as whole, and we step outside of ourselves, go way out into the outer regions of the universe, or way into the deepest depths of the inverse, because it's universe, one verse, inverse. It's what we see outside of ourselves is a reflection of what's inside ourselves. And that's who is it that said, was it Buddha or Gandhi that said, be the change you want to see? I think it was Gandhi. And that's exactly what it means. If you're focusing on all the evil and all the negative things in the world that are happening, you're projecting that. That's projecting the turmoil inside of you, the thoughts and feelings inside of you about other people, about your world. And the world will change when you start to focus Not saying you can't see other things, but when you focus, when you find the good and you focus on that, find the good in the outside world, which is reflecting the good inside of you, things will change. Things will change. This world seems to be in turmoil because everyone is bringing to the surface those things inside of themselves which cause anxiety and turmoil and chaos. Do you notice that, like, in today's world, there are more and more people that experience more and more anxiety, more and more conflict, more and more negative experiences, more and more thin skin, which that's what it is. It's thin skin that's projecting all of that stuff that's coming to the surface. And when you let that stuff come to the surface and you look at it and you examine it and you accept it for what it is, part of the whole, it will, I don't want to say easier. For me, it's easier. For you, it may not be. But for me, it's easier to live my life, to be happy every day, even though those things are happening. I can be happy. And in my immediate reality, in my close proximity of perception or experience, I experience good because I'm looking for the good and I'm seeing the good, and the good is affecting me in a great way. And so there was something else I was going to say about it all accumulating and coming to the surface. It's kind of like a zit that's coming to a head, and it's getting ready to pop. And humanity is starting to realize who we are, what we're capable of, and what we choose. I hate to misquote, but was it Einstein that said, I know Wayne Dyer told me, but I can't remember if he said, Einstein said that whether you live in a world that is beautiful, and I'm paraphrasing because these are not the words that were used. If you perceive the world as beautiful and friendly, then that's what the world is. And if you perceive the world as ugly and attacking, what's another word for attacking? Because that's not the right word. The world is out to get me. There's nothing but bad out there. Oh my gosh, everyone is evil and everything. Then that's what you will see. That's what you will get. And the only way we are going to, the reality in the world is being split into two. There are people that are going down the road of fear and oh my God and devastation and Armageddon and doom scrolling and taking that all in and feeding it and recreating it and adding to it and making it more of a reality for everyone involved, for everyone feeling that, everyone looking at that. And then there's people on the other side that are looking at everyone is beautiful in their own way, just like the song. And everyone is part of me, and I love them unconditionally, and send them the love, and see them as choosing to do the good things that they can think of, because we all think of doing good, and we don't always do it, but some of us do, and sometimes we do, all of us do. And then that's the world that they're creating, and that's the dimension that they are going to reside in, that they are going to create for themselves. And so I don't know if I'm making sense, but I hope I am. And so I hope that you are moving into a new earth instead of a new world order. We'll see what happens, But most people don't awaken until they hit rock bottom, until some tragedy, trauma happens. And if we are all to go through the eye of the needle, or whatever you want to call it, if we're going through this transformation, something is going to have to happen in order to wake people up. When 9/11 happened, people in the United States, instead of bickering and seeing our neighbor as a threat, we all came together. We all helped each other. And we didn't ask, who did you vote for? Or what do you believe? We said, you are a human being and I see you and you're suffering and I want to help. And that's what happened. And so I hope that we can ride this wave and that it just becomes a swell or a beautiful, ride into the shore instead of a tidal wave hurricane, something devastating. I hope it doesn't have to happen to wake us up. Who knows? Who knows? But I do know this. I do know that I love you and you matter in this world, whether you think you do or not. What you think, what you say, how you feel, that matters. And I hope that you're taking responsibility for it. And I hope that you're finding the good in yourself and that you're learning to love yourself and that you're learning to love others, that you're learning to foster those feelings about the good that people do, because everyone, I don't care what you say, you have not been with that person in their head 24/7 every second of their life, because then you wouldn't exist. Your individuality wouldn't exist in the one. We are all pieces of the puzzle. But what I'm saying is, look for the good in yourself. Look for the good in others. Please have compassion for everyone, including yourself. And I hope this day finds you in a glorious sunshine of happiness and love, and that you want to share that with the world. Because when you share it, it multiplies. It goes out there. It's a butterfly effect. It's contagious. Please have a good day. And I'll see you next time. Okay? Bye.